Hello and welcome to another video. Today's video we are going to be talking about, is there really a housing shortage in the UK? So if you turn on the news, you're going to get bombarded by so many people and journalists, quote unquote journalists, and experts claiming that the UK faces a massive housing shortage, and that is the reason why prices are eye-watering. But is that the actual facts, or are they just telling porkies? So let's try to discover in this video. So let's get started. So when we have a discussion about UK housing to our friends or colleagues or any members of the public, we tend to think there's an acute shortage of housing because of the newspapers and news and so-called experts shouting this to us for a very long time. And it makes sense because house prices have reached 9 times our income nationally and 16 times in London. So we are facing a crisis of affordability. But do you really need to build the so-called claimed 300,000 homes a year like the government been telling us? You see, in the last decade, the number of households in England and Wales rose by 6%, or 1.4 million. But the net number of dwellings in England alone rose by nearly 2 million, according to a report by the London School of Economics in 2018. Now, the UK's population has risen slower than past estimates. So 6 years ago, England's population was expected to be 57 million, but it turned out to be actually 500,000 less. In 2014, there was a forecast of 260,000 new households in England per year, but 4 years later, this was revised down to 150,000. Yet, most housing targets are based on outdated forecasts. The number of new households is not growing as fast because of declining birth rates, slower growth in life expectancy, less migration than expected, and the cost of living crisis encouraging young people to live with parents. Also, it is not just about the amount of homes built, but net new dwellings. Last year, England built 210,070 new homes, but gained over 28,000 from the conversions and change of use. For example, converting business premises to housing. Home building rates have fallen since the post-war period, but it is not the only metric. The 1970s had significantly higher rates of house buildings, but there were also more demolitions. This means the net increase in dwellings was actually higher in 2020/2021 than the average of the 1970s. So that begs the question, where did the government's 300,000 home building target come from? And according to House of Commons research brief, it came from outdated predictions in household growth. So, at this point, you may ask, if there is no acute shortage, why is it so desperately hard to get housing? Well, in many different regions, there is a very genuine shortage, especially rented accommodation and social housing. You see, social housing stock has been in steady decline, with former stock being sold off, demolished and not replaced. Shelter report there are 1.4 million fewer households in social housing than in 1980, and around 1 million households are currently waiting for social housing. Combined with excessive house prices, making homes unaffordable. This has pushed demand into the private rental sector, where supply has been slow to keep up. So this all results to above inflationary increases in rents, especially in big cities like London. Now, would increasing the supply of homes reduce house prices? As one theory is, increasing supply of homes will make them more affordable and bring the overall housing market down a bit. This is true to some extent, but less than what you might expect. Numerous studies show that for every 1% increase in supply, prices and rents may fall 1.5%. This could mean if we built 300,000 homes a year, house prices may be 10% less over 20 years. So, on average, 0.5% reduction in house price inflation. You see, inflated house prices are primarily due to the distortion of ultra low interest rates and massive wealth inequality. Now, some studies claim that we need to build not 300,000 houses, we need to build 350,000 new homes a year. But before we start the construction jobs and digging up fields, there are other factors to consider. You see, in England, there are 640,000 empty homes, and the worst areas for empty homes is in central London, with investors speculating on rising prices. Hence, they use it as an investment vehicle by the ultra rich from different countries. So nearly 1 in 3 homes in the city of London was classified as empty. Also, tourist areas in the UK have been hit by the rise of Airbnbs and second homes, which has taken a lot of housing off the market. So, how many new houses does the UK need to build? You see, arbitrary national targets are slightly misleading, as a lot of the worst shortages are located in certain areas. But more than anything, there is a need to build affordable social housing and housing for rent, which has been something ignored for the past few decades. And I have an idea how we could fix the housing crisis. My idea for some people might not be popular, and for others it might be. I don't personally think that a house should be a investment vehicle. I think a house should be a place for people to stay. So if you want to make money, I don't think you should be allowed to make money via property. And I know that sounds asinine, but the reason why is if you want to make money, then open a business, invest in stocks, bonds, crypto, REITs, peer-to-peer lending, open an online business or a brick and mortar business, improve your income, get a promotion and go up the ladder. I feel like all these ways are a challenge and a great way of getting money and making money. For housing, it seems a very lazy way of buying a house, because you know people will need that, and then offering it on the rental market, which means a lot of people that bought houses can remortgage and buy more houses, while the young who don't have the deposit to buy a house are stuck not being able to get on the property ladder. And for wealthy investors, yes, it's fine, you can come and invest and buy houses in the UK, but it should be a certain threshold. So for example, if you are a millionaire investor who wants to buy a house in the UK, whether it's to wash your dirty money or for whatever reason, it's fine, you can buy a house, but the minimum price that you can buy a house for is £1 million. So if you have £1 million, yes, you can buy a house. Now, if you don't have £1 million, then no, sorry, you cannot buy a house. So if you're a UK citizen, you can buy a house regardless of how much it costs. But if you're a foreign investor, then the minimum price that you can buy a house for is 1 million. So if there's a house going for £250,000, you cannot buy it. That's for the citizens of the United Kingdom. But if there is a house going for £1 million, £2 million, then yes, you can buy that house. This way, it allows affordable housing to stay on the market for majority of people in the United Kingdom, but it also allows investments into properties by the ultra rich to have their second home or holiday home, or if they want to turn it into a hotel or Airbnb. So that's my take on it, and that's the video. If you found the video informative, then give it a like. Let me know what you thought in the comments, subscribe, and take care.